Okay, you guys, so we are back with another video. In this video, we're gonna talk about Tyra getting dragged through the mud for a lot of things that happened on America's Next Top Model. Some of it, we were aware of it, and for the most part, many of it, we weren't aware, but as the year passes, we kept hearing stories from the contestants who were on the show. And for a lot of things, Tyra has been getting major backlash. And you know what? I understand the backlash in some parts, but also I have to say this, and I'm gonna have to be honest, right? Because America's Next Top Model, it was the thing. Like, I loved watching America's Next Top Model. It's that thing that you want to drop it was that thing you wanted to drop everything for to see your favorite contestant. You wanted to see Nigel Barker. You wanted to see Miss J. You know, you just wanted to see the judges, and it was just such a good show. You had Janice Dickens on it. You had, Andre Leontali. Like, America's Next Top Model, it was so good, and we thought this was a thing that was giving the girls the highlight that they needed, the exposure that they needed, but there were also moments that we were like, oh, that one has to cut off her hair. Okay, she's gonna do it for her career. She's doing it for her best. But we never knew that even though we saw them crying and we saw some emotional takes, we had no idea that many of these situations were so traumatizing and, you know, life lasting for many of these girls. Not only that, some of these girls were forced to do things like, for example, we're now learning that one model had to create a scene, like a gunshot scene because her mom was shot, and the producers of the show wanted her to recreate that scene. Now, for me, the moment that had me in tears is the moment with Miss J. Miss J got a stroke and he was paralyzed. He couldn't talk, but he went through a rehabilitation and he's able to talk now. He still hasn't been able to walk as yet. He's saying he still hasn't regained complete mobility, but it was a shocker for us to learn that Tyra hasn't visited Miss J ever since her illness. And you know what I love about Nigel Barker? Like, ever since I was young, I was always fascinated with this man. I was always obsessed with this man. And you know what I'm happy about? I'm happy that after so many years, Nigel Barker is still Nigel Barker, that man that you fell in love with on TV, who is a true human being, and he has a heart, and he's not just pretending to have one. He actually literally has a heart. You know, some people, they'll pretend with you for a while to have a heart, and then when it comes to that crunch time, you realize that they're not half of the human being that they're presenting themselves to be. Well, this is what many people are thinking of Tyra, because to know that it was Miss J who taught Tyra to walk, and we saw them having what appeared to be such an amazing relationship on camera, to know, hearing Miss J saying, Tyra never visited him. She called, she wished him well, she promised to visit, but she never visited. And Nigel Barker said something very amazing. And let me tell you, Nigel Barker is just that person that you want to love. You want to wish him all the best. You will always consistently appreciate. No, the portion of the clip that I have to share with you is not the one that everyone is dragging Sherri Shepherd for, but let's take a look at this clip, because my focus in this, it wasn't like a documentary that they did, because they are about to recycle America's Next Top Model. You know, the entire world copied America's Next Top Model. We had Caribbean Model Search after that. Australia had Australian Next Top Model and a few other countries. So it gave birth to a lot of people. But there were a lot of things that happened that shouldn't have happened. But let's take a look at this clip with Sherri Shepherd talking to Miss J and, the rest of the team just filling in, letting everyone know what has been happening. And then I'll get back with the rest of my commentary.
In 2022, you had a stroke.
Yes.
And you are, I want to say, ask you, how are you doing now? You are a walking miracle here.
I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I was paralyzed. And then one day, I spent a year and 5 months in recovery. So I was inside the hospital. But then they came to visit me, as well as Angela Bassett, just drop names. And Alfred Witter, Nisha Nash, who called me yesterday, by the way. And then along with, just George Lopez.
Yes.
So they all came to visit me. And but Tyra didn't.
Tyra has not. Okay, so Miss J, Tyra has not reached out to you.
No, she reached out to me.
She reached out to you.
Recently.
You better let Miss J talk.
Just saying.
She did, what did she, can we ask what she said when she reached out to you?
Just, hey, I'm in New York. I'm in LA. Okay. And? But she reached out to me when it first happened.
Okay.
So, she just...
Did she come to see you? So this is what I have to ask you. And I bring it back to that point again. You taught Tyra how to walk that runway. You've known her since she was 17 years old. Mm-hmm. There's got to, like you said, so many people reached out to you and your visitors who came to see you.
I brought him his lemon cupcakes.
But again, just to play devil's advocate here for Tyra too. I mean, look, people are busy. She lives all over the world. She's living in Australia. Things happen. Even if you can't make it in person, which we did, and whatever, if you have a friend or someone you care about, you just go the extra mile, don't you? You do something.
Can I ask, how did you feel about that? Did it make you feel a certain kind of way with Tyra not coming to see you, knowing that you had that relationship with her?
Yes, it did.
I saw the pain in his eyes, to be honest with you. I mean, it broke our hearts, to be honest with you. It really did.
So guys, when I honestly, I'm trying to restrain myself. I'm restraining myself from getting emotional because I love Miss J. And Miss J always gives that wiser than his years vibe or year vibes. And Miss J has always given that nice, sweet, darling personality. I tell you, the sweetest people get treated the worst and oftentimes are left behind. And to know that Miss J and Tyra had such what appeared to be amazing relationship, and someone that you pretended that you love and cared about so deeply was so sick, but because that was a serious illness. When someone has been in the hospital for over a year, he said. I saw that in one clip, and yes, she did reach out one time, but just as Nigel said, if she couldn't visit because she lives in quite a few countries and she does have a busy schedule, don't you FaceTime that person? Like, we're in the day and the era of technology. You would FaceTime that person and you would have consistent conversation with that person, and you would just, reassure them, let them know that even though we're worlds apart, I'm still there with you. I'm still near to your heart, still there with you at heart. So that, is rubbing the internet the wrong way, because many people are saying Tyra isn't visiting Miss J. Tyra never visited Miss J. She promised one phone call and that was it. No, Sherri is getting dragged because there was a portion of the clip where Sherri looked back. She looked to the camera, to the side, or, she faced the camera and she was saying, you guys have no idea. Like she's saying, you guys have no idea what these managers and these production crews demand of you at times. So because it appeared as though she was defending Tyra, many people did not like it because they're saying there's no excuse for a lot of things that Tyra had to do. But I saw a portion of the clip when Tyra said that she had to fire, I think, Miss J, and she never wanted to, and she was told that she had to make the call. Now, a lot of things that Tyra has said over the years, many people still believe that Tyra is lying, and Tyra lies a lot. I believe that Tyra is a publicly trained speaker. I don't believe everything that she's saying is her lying a lot. I've seen many of the top models, and what many of them have said out publicly is that a lot of things happened that shouldn't have happened, but irrespective of that, they are still grateful for the opportunity, because through America's Next Top Model, even though they didn't win that cycle, it gave them the exposure that they needed. It gave them the platform that they needed. So I do believe a lot of people have been burned. A lot of people have been hurt, but I do believe that Tyra, there are some portions of it wherein she should take accountability, because everything cannot just be the producers, right? And there are portions where I've seen her taking accountability, but I'm going to say this. As horrible as some things were, Tyra created one of the best shows on TV of all times. Tyra gave women the best opportunity possible. I think that Tyra gave a lot of girls the best opportunity possible to be discovered, and they were discovered. I remember it was a couple years ago, Winnie Harlow said something along the lines of America's Next Top Model never really did anything for her. And the internet, she faced major backlash for that, because the internet was saying, but we wouldn't know you without America's Next Top Model. That's where we know you from. We don't know you through any other discovery. It was through America's Next Top Model. So I do agree with the internet on that. While a lot of things were grueling, a lot of things were cruel, a lot of things shouldn't have happened, Tyra created one of the best shows on earth. And I just believe that there are things that she could and should take accountability for. And I also believe what Tyra is saying when she says it's production. She's not lying, because Sherri is saying it, and we've heard Wendy saying it as well. When it comes to production and management, sometimes they make you do things that you don't necessarily want to do, right? Do you guys remember, I think one time Wendy was told to fire Susan or something along that line, and it was the audience who was like, without Susan, the Wendy show is not the Wendy show. Susan brought life to the show, and then Susan was brought back to the Wendy show, because Wendy was saying along with her co-host. Without Susan, the show wasn't the show. And everyone agreed with Wendy, and they brought back Susan. So Wendy was very instrumental in Susan's return, and so too was the co-host. The co-host agreed that without Susan, the Wendy show wasn't the Wendy show, and Wendy was very honest about it. And that's how they brought back Susan. So I have no doubt that Tyra is, in fact, speaking truth, but also I do believe that, Tyra had to endure so much. It's like a nurse working in the hospital. Do you know how nurses work in the hospital? And because over a period of time, they've seen so much trauma, they've seen so much death, it's as though they have detached from humanity. I think that's what really happens to a lot of people in show business. And I think Tyra is one such person. She has experienced like so much death, so much trauma in show business that she has completely detached in order to save herself, and it becomes the norm. But those things, even though that may be the case, I don't think it is right, and I don't think, it should become an acceptable form of behavior. We should never detach from our humanity. Never. Sometimes it's really hard not to. I'm not gonna lie. It's really hard not to at times, but we should never ever do that. We have to fight and fight like hell to stay connected to our human side and to stay in tune with humanity. We're all one, we're all connected, and we really need to be nicer and better to each other. I honestly believe so. But that's all I have to share in this video with you guys. We're gonna talk some more. Peace.